Picture this, okay? You write an essay completely on your own, right? For school, only someone later says, no, that wasn't you, that was AI, artificial intelligence. That is what happened to a high school senior in California.
Her story is featured in the Washington Post. The columnist who wrote the story says that he was testing AI software that helps teachers spot plagiarism in their students' work. The software, he says, incorrectly flagged the student's essay as having been aided by ChatGPT. So, joining us now, our go-to person when it comes to this AI stuff is Sinead Bovell. She's a futurist tech entrepreneur and the founder of Weekly Advice for Young Entrepreneurs. Thank you very much. Sinead, I saw this in the Washington Post, and immediately I thought about you. I was having a conversation with someone in my family this weekend who is a principal at an elementary school, and I said, how do you decide, how do teachers know if it's ChatGPT, if it's AI, or if an actual student is writing it? There is this tool out there, but that tool can be wrong as well.
Right. So the AI detection tools, they're actually quite often more wrong than not. Of course, the tool that was used in this case, Turnitin AI detector tool, this company says it has about 98% accuracy in flagging AI-generated content, but that number hasn't been evaluated by external researchers. So I think in an era when AI is going to become a part of our common discourse, a part of our world, trying to play this cat and mouse game of detecting AI-generated content is just going to become more and more challenging over time. These tools are going to get better. Since most of these AI detection tools have come to market, we've already seen a massive update in the AI system that's powering systems like ChatGPT. So I think it's kind of a losing battle for teachers to try to consistently flag AI-generated content. There's a lot of variability and doubt there.
I think there's also a question about sort of the role of the government in all of this and regulation. We've been so behind the ball in terms of regulating social media. I sat down yesterday in Washington, D.C. with the president's top economist, Lael Brainard, and asked her, you know, just because we can do all this with AI, does that mean we should? Here's what she said.
I do think that there are some important risks here. And yes, absolutely, we need to make sure that there are important safeguards, that we all agree and put those in place so that some of those risks that are really quite sobering are addressed at the outset.
That's a hope, but what should the government do in your opinion?
When it comes to education in particular, I think banning these systems or trying to catch students using these types of systems isn't the right step forward. The purpose of education is to prepare students for the economy and the world of tomorrow.
Yeah.
That world is going to include AI. So if we want students to be able to participate in that world, to be able to use these tools safely, they need to be working with them now. And then when it comes to a government level, what role does government have here? We've seen a lot of leading voices in tech call for an office of strategic foresight. So we don't always feel like we're caught off guard, slamming the panic button to try to keep up with the latest iterations in artificial intelligence. And instead, a year or two ago, when research into these systems was starting to become a lot more prevalent, we could start to measure the potential disruption, the guardrails that should be applied, give institutions like academia, which tends to move a little bit slower, the chance to catch up and reformulate curriculums. And then, of course, for things like safety, are watermarks on AI-generated content a possibility? What AI detection tools could be helpful? Do we have those in newsrooms? So those are all of the different standards and pathways we can take, but it starts with having a lot more foresight and not kind of always being caught off guard with the latest iteration in technology.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were talking about, Don was talking about watermarks.
I asked about watermarks, yeah. Because, I mean, you have to be able to identify what is real and what is not. And actually, who is
Although
the
I could sleep another hour if AI would just, you know, ChatGPT write it all.
Put that out there in front of everyone, the bosses who are watching as well.
Sinead, thank you very much.
I don't agree with that at all, anybody. Thank you, Sinead. Good to see you. We'll see you soon.
Thanks,
New
guys.
rules.